Aloha, everyone. I trust you are making the most of your day. Welcome to Dr. P's Facets of Life series of podcasts. This is pod number 44. Today's topic, an Alzheimer's overview. Because our overall senior population is growing so rapidly, because so many of us will have to become caregivers, and because Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia have become so prevalent, I felt it would be beneficial to offer an overview of this condition. I believe it is important that you have at least some idea of what this is all about. This pod is not intended to be comprehensive, but rather it is intended to offer a starting place for those who want a basic understanding of the disease or diseases. First of all, let me clarify something for you. Alzheimer's and dementia are not two different diseases. Rather, Alzheimer's is a type of dementia. There are several diseases that come under the umbrella of dementia. Some other types of dementia are vascular dementia, Lewy body, Parkinson's, Pick's, Huntington's, and Creutzfeldt-Jakob. Dementia is a global term that is applied when an individual presents with memory loss, confusion, declining problem solving and judgment skills, and language deficits. These diseases are irreversible and have no cure as of yet. So let's look at the three basic stages of Alzheimer's to start with. First stage is mild. There's typically short-term memory loss, impaired judgment, given a historical perspective of that person, anxiety, and paranoia. In the moderate stage, all of the above, plus long-term memory impairment or loss, not capable of all ADLs, which is activities of daily living, agitation, and wandering. In the final or severe stage, all of the above again, plus difficulty eating or swallowing, incontinence, being bedridden, having hallucinations, or being delusional. Now let's take a look at some dementia behaviors to expect. Restlessness, repetitive speech and/or actions, wanting to go home, even when they're already home, screaming and other noises, pacing and wandering, stealing, paranoia and hallucinations, resistance to care, anger and belligerence, aggressive and/or abusive, unusually docile and placid. A person with dementia can display any or all of these behaviors, either sporadically or constantly. Now let's take a look at some do's and don'ts regarding communication strategies for caregivers and loved ones. These are some things that you should not do. Do not argue or try to prove them wrong by correcting them. Do not try to reason with them when it becomes an argument. Do not lecture them. Do not command or demand things from them. Do not talk down to them or be condescending. Do not say, "Remember when?" or "Remember what?" or "I told you." Don't do those things. They just create anxiety and anger and frustration. Keep in mind you are dealing with a person who is cognitively impaired and cannot reason or function the way you can or the way they used to be able to. Following are some things you should do. Agree with them. Validate their feelings. Distract or divert their attention to something else. Reassure. Repeat things frequently. It's frustrating, but you have to do it. Encourage certain acceptable behaviors and praise those behaviors. Reinforce those behaviors as well. For the most part, allow them to do what they want to do unless it would be unsafe or in any way destructive for themselves, property, or anyone else. Most people with the disease, at least up until the last stage, want to be active in some way. It is important that whenever possible, the activities be meaningful in some way. Activities should be valued by the patient and should be engaging and failure-free. Try to become aware of the patient's existing skills and abilities. What things interest them? Following are some examples of possible activities to try. Try having them help others in some productive way and being appreciated for their contribution. Participating in leisurely activities such as visiting others, playing games, do coloring in a coloring book, or simple crafts. Self-care activities such as exercise and grooming. Restful and peaceful activities such as massage, music, petting an animal, whether real or stuffed, rocking in a rocking chair. A couple of notes here. Continuous activity programming can improve behavioral symptoms. A few examples would be gardening, cooking, playing games, fishing, exercising, and very simple routine chores like folding towels. The other note is to consider is incorporating individualized music therapy into some or all of their activities. This can have a calming effect on the patient. The last patient-related topic I want to address is the use of calming techniques for the caregiver to use when interacting with the patient. Try to rule out pain as a contributing factor in any upset, and be aware of any medical conditions such as hearing or vision impairment. Use a slower and calmer demeanor when speaking to and moving around the patient. Try to approach from the front as opposed to from the rear. Always use a soft touch when having physical contact. Use a reassuring or apologetic tone of voice. Distract and redirect attention as needed, or change the environment if possible. Read to the patient. Watch TV or do coloring together. Play soothing and/or familiar music for the patient. Sometimes you just need to remove yourself from the patient's presence in order for them to calm down or switch focus. If you would like additional information about Alzheimer's or any other type of dementia, there are many resources available, the most prominent of which is the Alzheimer's Association. They have a huge internet presence and also have chapters and offices in every state. And you can always email me if you wish. That's it for this time. I hope you benefited from this podcast in some way. Take care of yourselves and of one another. And remember that gratitude is the best attitude. This is Dr. P saying aloha.